We've all heard buy once, cry once, but let's be real. Sometimes you gotta cry twice because you overpaid for a tool and it turns out you only paid for the brand name and not any of the functionality. But not here. If you've never heard of Veto Pro Pack, you're gonna wanna see this because not only is this bag packed with some of the best tools that exist, but it's also packed with some incredible features that you just can't find anywhere else. Starting off with one of my favorite portions about this entire system, every Veto is known for this. They have this hard bottom on them. Guys, when I tell you that this isn't tipping over, your tools aren't gonna end up everywhere. That's the biggest thing. The organization is incredible. We'll start with the front section here, all the tools in this. Those are my main ones. We'll get into a little bit of the weirder ones behind. And this pouch here is always gonna be riding shotgun. I'm absolutely obsessed with the new Evo pouches. I will get into what's in this at the end, as well as like why I love this little clip system so much. Super awesome, but it usually just sits right here in the front. I'll show you guys that, like I said, at the end. Let's go ahead and roll through these tools. Best in the business. I've got a ton of them, and these are my favorite. So we'll start off in this actual front section here. We'll just cover what is in this and why I like to use this exact version of it. So you can see there's some layered pockets here. So there's a tall pocket up top, and then there's a bigger pocket down low. So if we start on this side here, these are the big step cutter XLs. This is probably my least used plier or cutter in this section. It's just really on this side because of how big it is. These are 9-inch cutters. These things will cut anything. We have some 14.2 here because that's what we use for everything. It's not even worth showing you guys how well these cut. Not only small wire like this, but larger cable or wire as well. The dual jaw system is such an interesting thing, and Knipex has done some really cool things with this pair specifically here. If you look at this beak, not only are there 2 cutting jaws, but you can see there's only 1 beak, which means you don't have to open these as wide to get larger wire in there. That's a huge bonus. They're super, super sharp. You can see the teeth in here, which seem like a gimmick, but trust me, they are absolutely not. And then this larger section out here is to nibble at larger cable that you can't actually fit inside of here yet, or don't have the hand strength to cut just solo. You can sit around and nibble the outside of the cable. Boom, it's done. Absolutely love these. They come in a couple different handles. If you like the smaller handles, they come dipped. They come in the comfort grip as well. These things are an absolute gem. There's not another set of cutters that I would want to have. Next, linemans. These are an obvious one. You got to have linemans. I like Knipex the best. A couple of features that I like about these. Number one, this will actually fit up to 3/4 conduit in it. So I can open this up and deburr the outside of my conduit with this set of linemans. I don't use that all the time, but when I have these in my pouch when I'm actually running conduit, I love to do that. And then you can put the head inside of the conduit to deburr the inside. Super cool. They come loose like this, so you don't have to warm these up in order to have them be like this loose. They come like this, which is a really, really nice part of it. And then obviously the cutting, they cut really, really well. They do everything that linemans are supposed to do. They last for a long time. Everything else about these obviously is fantastic. And when you're done, they just slide back in here. Again, this is one of those that you have to have the head up just because of how large these are. Show you guys a little example. The pockets on this are a little bit smaller than normal, I will say, but most pockets don't want to take these handles with how large they are, so it tends to be easier just to put the head up, and then it's really easy to identify what's what instead of just having a bunch of handles. Now, if we move over to this side, you can see we have another set of very, very large handles. This is on purpose. All of my large pliers are in the front here in these big pockets. This is the Knipex pliers wrench. It's an adjustable wrench on steroids. This thing is amazing. I've talked about these a lot, so I'm not going to crush it. But basically, these jaws stay parallel, so you're going to be able to grab anything with flat ends. They have smaller sets. They have bigger sets. You'll see a smaller set here in a second. What I will recommend to you, don't make the same mistake that I did and get this stupid insulated handle for this unless you live somewhere other than America and this is a requirement. There's no reason for me to have an insulated handle. Honestly, I don't remember how I got this pair. It was a mistake. I would definitely go for the comfort grip handle again. This is the 7.5 or 7.25 inch size that I carry all the time, and I have for a lot longer than these. These are really great for fittings. They're great for nuts and bolts, compression, connectors, couplings, anything with seal tight, all of those things that if you don't want to mar it up, especially, these are really, really nice to have. Obviously, just throwing on your chainies, your water pump pliers is the easiest way to do a lot of that stuff, but especially with nuts and bolts, things you don't want to mar up, things that are soft especially, are just super, super visible. These are where those come to play. Very nice to have 2 sets, obviously. It's an adjustable wrench, guys. It's a big, beautiful, adjustable wrench that works 1,000 times better. I like an astronomical amount better than an adjustable wrench. Get one. I also really like the 7-inch set, which is the first in our top row of pockets here. Same thing, no teeth on this. Jaws stay parallel. It's a different size. If I'm being completely honest, I use this pair way more than I use the 10-inch pair. The 10-inch pair is nice for larger fittings and stuff, but honestly, I can get this around a lot more than you would guess. There's actual like leverage on this too, so these jaws move, so you can see there's an actual motion on the jaw itself. It's not just a stagnant piece with no teeth. So if you're in a corner and you push down, you get to the edge of where you can go, you just lift up and you don't have to actually take it off. It's got a really secure fit as well, because there's movement, so that way you get a little bit too open and you close them down on it. And the force multiplier on this is 10x. So whatever I'm squeezing, let's just say I'm putting 10 pounds of pressure on there, it's doing 100 pounds of pressure on whatever I'm grabbing, which means you're not going to have a bunch of stripping, you're not going to slip, do all that stuff. It's actually got leverage on it, and unlike an adjustable wrench that's just set. So that's one of the reasons that I really, really like these. But this just goes in our top section right here in this top pocket. So you can see on to the next one. This one's quick. This is just a half round file. I always keep it with the pointy piece down. It's just a lot easier. I don't normally keep a handle on it. This Wera chisel driver here, amazing. This is the best beater on the market. I will say a beater is a beater. I just have come to like this one a lot, okay? It's got a metal cap on it, they all do. It's got a pass-through, they all do. This is considered a chisel driver, which means it's meant to be chiseled on, okay? This is the only beater that I have that hasn't broken or bent on me. I've never had any issues with this. I've got another size of these down here in the corner, which we'll show you when we get to that side of the bag. However, I like everything about Wera. You'll see a lot of their drivers in here. This beater is no different. It's also pretty affordable for what you get. It's the same price range as the Milwaukee, as the Klein, as all those other ones. It is a little bit bigger. It doesn't love to fit in flatheads like some of the other beaters will that are like Keystone drivers from Klein. Not actual beaters, but this style. Needless to say, is it worth upgrading from your old beater? No. But if you're getting a new beater and you want something that's like just ridiculously strong, I would 100% recommend this one. I think you're going to be happy with it. On to the next one. This one here is a little bit of a random one. Flathead here, insulated from Wera. We're taking this strap off so I can actually do this video. This is just, it just can't happen. But this padded shoulder strap is fantastic. It comes off very, very easy from these big D-rings. It's very padded, very comfortable. You can adjust the length of it too. I think the longest it'll go is 55, but I prefer to keep it a little bit tighter. So it's on my body, and that way when it's laying on the ground too, it's not just flopping around everywhere, especially not if we're in a factory or something, there's a bunch of grease. I don't want that laying on the ground, so I'll put it on top of the bag. It's easier to do if there's less to move around. Now, with that being said, this driver here, what makes this one special, this is unlike the other Wera drivers. This has a thin head on it. The price that you pay when you use insulated tools not only cost, which truthfully, the insulated drivers from Wera really don't cost much. They cost less than an American regular set, like a Klein 5 or 6 piece set, way less expensive than that, even insulated. This one here is the thin tipped one though. So on these other drivers, this is what they look like. I don't get the slimline version of these. The big reason is the non-slim ones have these laser etched marks in them, and they just grab better than any other driver, okay? That's what I like the most about Wera, other than the handle shape. Like, they feel really ergonomic, they're very light, they're very inexpensive, and the fit is fantastic. That being said, this is the only thin one that I actually carry. You'll see a little bit on the square, I've just cut it away so I can get in those thinner breakers. Obviously, the integrity on this isn't great. I'm not gonna use this in a panel, but as far as daily beater goes, like this is what I want. I just want to be able to grab something and go and not have to care about the integrity of it. Now, I say all that to say, this one here, the integrity on this is good. This isn't a beater daily driver of like, I'm trying to destroy this thing. This is an insulated driver. It's a flat head, and it's the slimline. I don't use this one very much. When I need it, I need it, and it always stays in here. I prefer dedicated drivers 10 times out of 10. Now, if we go ahead and look at the next section in here, this is good old trusty Husky, okay? I've been wanting to upgrade my ratchet for a while. Truthfully, I don't know much about them. So if you guys want to drop down in the comments who makes the best ratchet, I will say I refuse to get Snap-on purely for the fact of who uses Snap-on anymore other than like mechanics, okay? I'm not interested in Snap-on. I don't want Snap-on. You can change my mind if you want to in the comments, actually. I could be so wrong and they could be the GOAT. However, I'm looking for a nice new ratchet, something that is to the level of the rest of this bag. It's the one type of tool that I legitimately am just unsure on. So let me know in the comments. I should buy a bunch of ratchets and test them out. Let me know which ones you guys want to see. And if you guys love tools, which I'm sure you do if you're watching this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I love tools. You love tools. That's why we have the channel. You guys just hit the subscribe button. It helps us out. And we'll just get into the rest of these. But make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss out on it. And we put a lot of time in, and it helps me out, all right? These are the installation pliers. I have wanted to get rid of these, and I just can't seem to. I absolutely love this set of pliers for a couple different reasons, okay? Pliers, cutters, whatever you want to call them. This set right here is a very, very unique set of installation pliers from Knipex. A couple of things that these do, okay? They've got a thin head, so they're a needle nose, which is really what I use these as. I don't have a real true set of needle nose in here. I have these. The reason for that is because this head, while it's not as thin as a set of needle nose, on the tip here, you're probably not going to be able to see or tell that well, but there's no teeth on the end here, which means I can grab and manipulate wires, which is what I'm doing with my needle nose most of the time anyways, and it has a lot better functionality like the cutters, okay? The cutters on this are going to be better than any needle nose for soft metals. So for copper, these are going to cut way, way, way better than the pinch style. Shears always cut better. I love shears. Knipex makes some of the best. On top of that, it also has a 12 and a 14 gauge stripper, which is really, really nice if you're running MC, okay? These cut MC like butter, and they strip MC like butter. So it's a win-win. Anything with 12 solid or 14 solid, which Romex as well, I don't do a lot of that. However, when I do some side work for somebody, when I go help somebody out, I really do like to have these in my bag or in my pouch to use these. They just cut better, and they strip 14 and 12 solid, and they work as a great set of needle nose. This is my favorite style of head for a stripper. I wish they had a regular stripper with this cutter, this head, and these strippers. Sadly, they do not. Then if we go ahead and take a look in the middle, this section actually comes with a divider. I don't have it in there, mostly because this is just like massive storage for me, okay? So a couple of things that we keep in here. Number one, sockets. This is going to be the Wera socket set. It's the standard set, which is red. The metric set is blue. I just like how compact this is. These are all impact rated 3/8 sockets, and it gives me 7 different sizes, which is really, really nice. They're just on this compression style, so it's really easy to get off. A couple brands make these. I'm not going to get into it. These are my favorite, okay? They have a little loop over here, so I could tie something to them and tie them to the outside. Honestly, it's just too easy to throw them in there, and they stay out of the way. They stay together. It comes with a little adapter on the back, which is like a 3 or 4 inch adapter here for your impact sockets to go into your 1/4 inch impact or a driver if you have that. Really good quality. I wish they were color coded. It's very inexpensive though, but it is the most compact set of sockets that I've found on the market, and they're the easiest to get to, and they're incredibly affordable, which is kind of insane. Now, they just live at the bottom of this case. Obviously, there's a Milwaukee M12 fuel impact, which is just an like this is something you have to have at this point. This thing is a beast. You've seen it, so I'm not going to talk about it a ton. I don't remember the last time I got my 18 volt out, okay? This thing is ridiculous. The lights are super bright. The batteries last for forever. It's got 4 different modes, 3 different torque settings, and a self-tapper setting. Just phenomenal, okay? I can do almost anything that I ever need to do with just this. Even some drilling, some small drilling, some light drilling, pretty much anything. When I started getting into this, 12 volt was already kind of coming into the spotlight. The first M12 was out or just being released, and it was a beast. But there were still some times where I had to get my 20 volt or 18 volt drill out, impact out. Now that's not the case at all. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I got my 18 volt out. We're not discriminating around here, okay? If you want to put a little DeWalt in here, you can. It fits just fine. This is the 20 volt installation style of driver with the smaller battery, but pretty much any style of head will fit down in this little crack here pretty easily. So outside of that, just keep a little bit case down here with a couple extra features, okay? Again, this is a world-class bag. We want the best of the best in here. This little Weehaw case here is that. So if we go ahead and open this up, you can see there's quite a bit going on here. It's got all of these bits, which these are the blue boys. These are the Terminator bits from Weehaw. They fit fantastic. They are impact rated, and they just work better, okay? Now, it comes with this mini ratchet, which is basically my stubby. This is like a stubby on steroids. If you look at how small this is, we'll go ahead and put our posi drive in, because this comes with posi drives randomly. And you can see how thin this is compared to a normal stubby. It only takes up this much room vertically. Now horizontally, it takes up a lot more room. Sometimes you run into some issues with that. But what that'll allow for you to do is get a ton of leverage on here. So instead of being stuck in a little place, trying to fit a little like tiny driver in there and move your big fat hands around, you can actually get some leverage on there and like actually tighten stuff up. I love this, especially for strut straps, pretty much anything, but this is my stubby, go-to stubby. Sometimes it's the Weehaw, sometimes it's the Wera. In this case, I've just got this little bit set. It's so easy to fit down in there. I've got all the bits that I need. So this is the one I'm rocking with here. Really like the functionality of the case, and the bits just fit so well. So it's kind of hard to deny. And then another cool thing about this is if we go ahead and get this bit holder out, this also has some special functionality that I've just legitimately never seen anywhere else. Okay, so if we put this in, we've now got this bit in here. And one thing with these really nice bits that fit really well, even like on a number 2 Phillips, it will stick to your screw from friction after you put it in. Like even a pretty light tapping in, it'll still stick to it. And so what they've done here with these Weehaw bit holders that I've never seen with the thin boys is this is locked in place. So I can't pull this out unless I pull this collar back. And now it's unlocked, which is just incredible. It took me so long to figure this out the first time that I literally was like trying to rip this out with pliers because I had no idea that there was the functionality for you to be able to actually have bit retention in a small bit holder like this, okay? I mean, this has got to be my favorite bit holder. Obviously, it magnetizes as well. Everything about this little kit is great. It's super affordable as well. Like, it's not an expensive set. It comes with the mini ratchet. It comes with one of the best bit holders ever. The case itself is also just super sweet. Like, it's a metal case. This is pressed. Like, this isn't cheaply done. This is a thin metal case. You can use the open top portion to hold screws if you need to. Now, if I sound like I'm glazing this case, it's because I am, okay? This thing is sweet. I love this. I love everything about this, okay? I've got 2 of these go boxes too, so we'll cover that. I put a piece of tape on the end of these because I have 2 of them. The other one is not in this bag, so it's not as big of a deal. This just helps me identify and see which one is my micro driver, which is the other one, and which one of these is going to be my bit set and my mini ratchet. So love this thing, and it just sits down in there. Honestly, I love the little catch-all of just being able to toss stuff in and like it's just in there and it's gone. Obviously that can be a little bit of a mess, but I'm not the type to hoard things in my bag, right? Now, before we get into this little weird section that I've got a ton of like very, very strange stuff, we'll go over these outside pockets, and I'll say the reason that these are empty on the front, this is where the bag hits my body, okay? I've had stuff in here. I just tend to knock it off. Typically, that would be on the other side that you put your thing on and like this is what rests against your body. However, I like the bigger surface to be able to house my pouch. And so it just sits in there nice. It doesn't snap in, but I've not had any issues with this falling out, okay? Especially not with the linemen's back there. This is how I carry it. And so I love that snap so much. So instead of having the backside be filled up with stuff and it rubbing on my body, me knocking it off, doing all that, instead of doing all that, we just have this empty. Now on the outside here, we've got a tape clip, which is really nice. I've got the Milwaukee wide blade. For those of you who have been hating on this, y'all got to give this new version a try. Like when I tell you it's the best standout of any tape that I own a ton of tapes. As far as standout alone goes, this one right here is definitely the best feel. My hand is at 13, okay? So this is exactly where my hand is. I'm not babying this at all. I'm just letting it have it. The new stud, or I'm sorry, the new wide blade, not the new stud. The stud doesn't have as large of a standout. Pocket clips on this are good. The belt clips, whatever you want to call them. The magnets on it are strong, okay? I really, really like how strong the magnets are. This is pretty heavy. This is 7 sockets and an adapter. So not bad. Writing on the bottom, which is the most important thing for me. If a tape doesn't have writing on the bottom, I'm out. I love Stanley's. But like, put some writing on the bottom and put a real magnet in there. Be a man. All that to say, this tape measure has gotten a lot of hate online, mostly because of the old wide blade. If you guys are hating on it, when it's time to get a new tape, you guys should check out the new wide blade. It's a pretty sweet deal, okay? I've been a big fan of it so far. I think it's worth a shot. This just slides onto this little deal here, which also has a bottle opener on it. I'm pretty sure. I couldn't tell you because I don't really open bottles ever. So we look at the bag from the actual side view, which by the way, you guys are seeing all this right now. No tools have shifted whatsoever just because of how tight these pockets are. And this is like, I just folded it over. So on this left side here in the big pocket, I've got my shears. These are just Knipex scissors. I absolutely love these. They go with me everywhere. I use these for everything from like opening packages, mostly stripping low volt, pretty much anything. Like this is just a nice set of scissors that I have out. They stay on the outside for a reason, and that's because they're really easy to get to. And this is how I'm going to open material. This is how I'm going to open pretty much anything is with this set of shears. Now I really love that they come with this handle because they're super sharp. I just bought a bunch of these scissors from a bunch of different brands. This set from Knipex is by far my favorite. They are the sharpest. They will cut anything and everything. This is 14.2. When I tell you this shouldn't be easy with a set of shears this small, like shears like this aren't meant to cut big, like when I say big stuff, I mean stuff like this. It's 14.2, so it's 3 conductors, solid 14 gauge wire. This is a lot of cutting for that, okay? And these cut it. I don't use these regularly for that. That's not what they're there for. There's definitely better things to cut with. However, these just cut better than any other brand out there. On this side, I keep both of my squares. I really like to have the dedicated stuff here. We've got a third option here, but I've got larger drivers, so the head's covered up a little bit. The green is the smaller one. It is insulated still. And yes, I use my #1 square all the time. I love using this on devices. I don't care, okay? This is just, it's my favorite thing to do. I get it out every time. If I'm doing devices, this is coming with me, okay? And a #2 square, obviously. This one here, you can see, instead of carrying like a legit bit that I need to reach back, I've just shaved off the front of this insulation. And that way I can actually just get to what I need to. Obviously the integrity of this driver's smoked. It's a beater driver. It's just a #2 square. It's a little Robbie. This hasn't been any sort of an issue so far. And I cut it back just enough to actually be able to get into those little breakers that use a #2 square that are recessed. If we look at the other side, not a whole lot going on. We'll take the tape off, flip this up. You heard our impact move, and that was literally the only thing that moved. I love how secure this bag is. Empty pocket over here. This would be where a Sharpie would go, but I've got it in my bag, Sharpie and pencil, in my little pouch, so I always keep those there. On this side, we've got another big pocket, which I find myself fidgeting with very often, okay? I know you all can hear that. This is my favorite one. So if we look at this one here, not only does it look pretty crazy and it ratchets, this little green piece here, the reason I like this one is because instead of just ratcheting, which I don't care for the functionality of it all, it will actually allow me to start screws with my hand, so I can turn and twist with this to actually get something started. I really, really like that. Other than that, a couple of things that this one does that most don't. It takes 1/4-inch bits. That means I can have a driver for anything I have a 1/4-inch bit for, okay? That also means that I can have it shortened, I can have it extended, I can have it whatever I want, okay? It's mine. It takes 1/4-inch bits. I can put a T10 security bit in here, rock with it all day, never think twice about it, all right? Handles, again, ergonomic, ratcheting. It'll flip sometimes, but not super often. And then my favorite part, if you press this green button on the back end, it opens up to all these bits. They're just 1/4-inch bits, so you can customize these. If you have something weird that you do, and let's just say you don't need a T20 bit, you can change this T20 bit out for a T10 security bit, or literally whatever you want, okay? Whatever you run into the most, you can customize this. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg. These aren't proprietary bits. These bits are just regular bits. And this just sits right there on the outside, and that way, if I ever need to just grab it and go, I can grab this in a whatever set of pliers I need to, go do my thing, I'm good to go, okay? In the other pocket on that side is gonna be this dismantling tool, which is one of the best, cheapest tools that I own that I'm like, if you're an electrician and you don't own one of these, this is the one tool that I'll die on, that I'm like, you should check one of these out if you do anything like this. This is for stripping cable and cord, large cable and large cord. So we can see we've got some just regular SO here. So we find the fit on the blade. So we can see in the blade here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it in the video or not, but there's a little blade. I can see it's just barely poking through the insulation. So it's set up right. From there, I can just put this on, okay? Give it a couple whirls that direction, a couple whirls that direction. Boom, pull it off. And I have a clean cut every single time. None of the insulation on these actual conductors is damaged. It's the perfect cut every single time. It's fast, it's easy. Like I said, this is very small, very inexpensive, and it works so well. Once you figure out how to use this, you adjust the blade depth with this here. You know, this is literally the exact purpose I got this for, was retrofitting lights in a warehouse. We had like a ton of lights to do. They all had SO whips. So instead of just trying to use my utility knife or a set of shears or whatever, got this and like flew through it basically. Took out a lot of the guesswork. It was a lot safer. It does also work for big cable. And honestly, this isn't probably the best place for it. I like to keep things that I want regularly available, but it's a smaller tool, and so instead of stuffing it in this back section here, it just makes sense to set it out on the outside. If we go ahead and look at this section, this is where I keep my like smaller group tools. We'll just go through the top here to start it off, and then I'll kind of get into how I store stuff down there. On the other side, we have a level. This is one of two levels that I have. This is the second level for leveling stuff. Just makes life a lot easier. It's the Milwaukee. The other one that I have is the Ideal. Part of me wants to get two, but I have all these levels, and it just doesn't make sense. I do love for my stuff to match, and I really like this Milwaukee level. It's not as good as the Ideal, in my opinion. Like, I just don't like it as much. Which, to clarify, I don't mean that the functionality is better. I think if you get one of the top quality levels from Ideal, Greenlee, Klein, Milwaukee, Empire, I think you're good. Empire is the cheapest if you're looking for just a good solid one. They make a very well priced level. I like the Milwaukee. There's like zero functionality difference between this and the Empire though. Same thing with the Ideal. I just like them and I have them, so I use them. Okay, so some of these I will like legit stand on and say these are the best of the best. The levels, I don't think the performance is any different from one to another. So I think the Empire to Milwaukee is like a $15 to $20 difference. So if you're trying to save a buck, that's one place that I'll say it does not matter whatsoever. So then if we go ahead and look at the next section here, this is going to be one of my favorites. These are the Cobalt cutters. These things cut anything, okay? It's a 10-inch handheld set of bolt cutters that personally I've never found another pair like. We got our safeties on because we don't safety squint around here. So we've got a 1/4-inch bolt here, not touched, okay? There's no pre-cut, there's nothing. I used to have the 8-inch set of these, which I used for a lot longer in the Comfort Grip. The 10-inch set here, you can get both hands on it, okay? Now we're just gonna go ahead and squeeze. Now readjust. And that's a 1/4 inch hardware. Okay, that's 1/4 inch. That boy thick. All right, for a handheld set of bolt cutters that I really didn't try on. We'll go as fast as we can this time, and that way I won't talk through it. Okay, I'll just squeeze, readjust, squeeze. These will cut just about anything, and wow, I really don't like looking at all these lights. I am so tempted to keep these on. I'm not going to because it's obnoxious, but I wish that I could. All that to say, these cut anything you don't want to ruin your diagonal cutters with, okay? Aircraft cable, nails, bolts, screws, literally whatever it is that you want to cut, and you're like, I don't feel like damaging my $40, $50 set of diagonal cutters. You do this, all right? These don't ruin. You don't get to use them every single day. I hope not. But man, these things cut just better. I've had another brand, like a $50 or $60 set of these, which is, I think, this price. And they broke on me like a day in. They didn't even, I was so upset. I was hurting, all right? Now on to our next vertical pocket, the high pocket twin grip pliers. These are your pliers, okay? This is so you can grab a screw that's stripped out and you can actually get a hold of it, okay? Can't do that with linemen's. You can try, but you're gonna slip off. These are my pliers. They also have this wonderful jaw here, okay? This is the 8-inch set. The 8-inch set is really great because when you press this button, you can open them up. You can actually get this onto nuts and bolts and things pretty easily. There's some teeth in here that grab pretty aggressively. I absolutely love these. Gives you a different angle than your traditional channel lock style of plier, your water pump plier. So instead of having the angled head like this, you just have a straight head, which we'll get to these and why I carry these in just a minute. Those are in my pouch, which we're almost there. For little nuts and bolts and stuff, they get used pretty frequently, okay? Whether that's grabbing a nut this direction or whether that's grabbing a stripped out screw and extracting that, those are the best that I've found for that. Easy one here. This is literally undisputed, okay? This is the 9-in-1 from Klein. It's completely pass-through, completely hollow. All of these have some sort of retention system on them as well. This is all standard. They're color-coded, which is phenomenal, okay? The handle's a lot smaller than the previous version. All color-coded. It includes 11/32 and a hollow shaft, which is huge. All of them on the outside have magnets. If they house another size, then instead of a magnet, they have a retention ball, okay? Which is just as good, if you ask me. So we'll go ahead and stick this one down in here. The orange is the 9/16. This is 3/8 hardware. But like, this is the retention ball, and now, I mean, it's in there. Like, I have to pull it out in order to get it out. It's not overly difficult, and it is completely pass-through. The retention ball system in here is pretty fantastic, which obviously this bolt has a nut on it already. But the reason for the pass-through is so that if you wanted to screw this onto some threads instead and continue past where the threads stop, which is a pretty common thing, you would just turn this, obviously, with the handle on it, not how I'm doing it. And then from there, it'll actually walk this up onto the threads just like that. Pretty incredible. The 9-in-1 is by far my favorite. Make sure you get the version that has the retention ball / magnets on it. It'll say magnetic. Not all of them are magnetic, but they all do have a retention system, and it's working, okay? That's all that matters. And that one just goes right down there. Then, if we go ahead and look at our small ones here, kind of fly through these. This is our small beater. If I want a small one, that'll kind of go in my pouch instead of my regular driver. If I'm not doing finishing work, I'll put this one in there, and that way I can just kind of be rough and tough with it, let it have it. It's a chisel driver. This is just a shorter version. It works a lot better as a regular flathead. Now, in this front section here, we got a couple wrenches. This one here is a box wrench from Klein. It's a dog bone. I absolutely love dog bones, okay? Klein came out with one this year. It is okay. I'm not super impressed. I don't hate it, okay? They do change directions. They are 4 sizes in one. So you're gonna get your 3/8, 1/4 inch, 5/16, and 7/16 all in one. This is the 12-point. To be so truthful with you, I mostly use the 3/8 for beam clamps. Like, that's the whole reason I have it in here. But it's really nice to have a 1/4 inch wrench when you need one. 5/16, 7/16 for sure is probably the second most used size on this. But the 3/8 gets a lot of love from just beam clamps mostly. Okay, I like this. It doesn't take up much space. It gives me a lot of wrenches in one, a lot of sizes that I use, 5/16, quarter inch, 7/16, 3/8 obviously. Then I have some dedicated wrenches here as well. These are the high-end Wera Joker wrenches. These are the ones that are angled, okay? So they have like a 12-degree angle here, so you don't have to scrape your knuckles. We'll cover the 9/16. I have the 7/16 as well. Okay, couple of things. 12-point spline in the back. The ratcheting for this, oh, unbelievable. Wera makes some of the best ratchets that I've ever used. And one of the coolest features, all right? If we go ahead and get our little sample 9/16 out here again, our 3/8 hardware, this has a 12-point on one side and a 6-point on the other. Now, what that means is if you put it on the side with the 12-point in places where it won't go through, this is not magnetic at all, okay? You can actually get a hold on this with a wrench, which is really, really nice if you're on the backside of something and you're trying to hold it. You can put this in the correct way and have it hold, or you can have it pass through, so you can see if I lift this up, rotate it one direction, there we go, it'll actually sink through. However, once you get it on those corners, it won't. It actually has a hold function. It's incredible. Again, I'll give it to you one more time because not a lot of other wrenches can do this. Not magnetic, no party tricks, no video tricks, no nothing, all right? I'm not even good enough at editing to make you believe something wasn't real, so. And if you guys have made it this far, you guys are gonna wanna make sure you subscribe because I love tools and you love tools. And that's really it. I don't know, there's not a whole lot else. That's all we do is tool stuff, so. And this is kind of the perfect example of how we use these little bottom pockets to just kind of hold a ton of stuff. Okay, these could hold anything. I could hold 4 more wrenches in there. I don't want to because this is all I carry, but I love this little bag. Then we get to my Fiskars drywall utility knife. Man, this thing is an absolute keeper. Couple of things. This is getting harder to find, okay? I'm going to put that out there, but it also flicks open. So I don't even know if Fiskars is making this anymore. Basically, it's a utility knife and a drywall saw in one. It just does both really well. I don't know if anybody else makes one exactly like this, but it's an all-metal body construction, and I don't think it's available anymore. So I'm not going to... Oh, I need to find a replacement for it, something that you guys can actually have. If that tool is no longer made, I'm going to be very sad because it is by far my favorite option on the market. There's not even another version that comes close to that. Then if we go ahead and look at the front here, we just have 2 micro drivers. One from Wera. I use this one on little breakers, pretty common size for the like tandem style of breakers. This is typically what I use. And then if we look at the Milwaukee 14-in-1, I don't do a ton of like smaller stuff or low volt stuff. So this is kind of my just version of, you know, a do-it-all. Like it's got 14 sizes. It's got some Torx in here. It's got all your little Phillips flatheads, all those things. Nothing crazy fancy about this one. This is just the version that I have liked so far. The handle's a little bit bigger. It's got a little bit more rubber to it. Cap spins. Other than that, I kind of could care less. Now, the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, all right? I can work directly from this. I like to work from a pouch. This gives me the option to do both, okay? Like I said, this little back flap here just opens up and sits on the front. That way I can work directly from it here, or I can take it off and wear it on my belt, on my pocket, on whatever. This has this new Evo system clip, which if we open this up here, this is a magnetic pouch. So it's actually like closes with a magnet. It's not proprietary in the way of like this fits on your belt or on your pocket. It grabs on, it's super strong, and this also sticks to metal. This sticking to metal so you can actually work directly from this, from a panel or from literally whatever you're in, because everything's metal in an industrial facility. Pretty incredible, which is the reason why I've kind of been obsessed with these Evo pouches. So they're pretty awesome. I love them. The meat and potatoes of what is all in this pouch here, though, these are going to be a lot of the things that if you've been asking where a certain thing is, it's here, okay? We'll just cover it from the front. Fiskars utility knife. This is my favorite utility knife. this one is still made, okay? It is the largest. It doesn't work as well for a pocket carry. It feels the best in the hand. It's super smooth. The price is good. It's like the same price as a Milwaukee fastback, which is crazy because this is so much higher quality than a fastback could ever be. Like smooth flip out, weighted flip out. It's an all metal body construction and the orange is a rubber. It feels better in the hand. I literally have 13 of these. The number changes every time because I don't actually know how many I have, but it's close to 10, if not. Okay. On the backside here, we have a brand new FLIR voltage detector. This is the VP52. Okay. The reason this is new is because I left my old one somewhere. Okay. The thing I like about this one, for one, it's a really, really good look. It's just clean. It's different than the other ones. I don't love Flukes. I don't love any of Flukes. I don't love Milwaukee's or Klein's. I love this one, okay? It's got a flashlight on it, which is cool. The beeping does turn off. I've got it on right now, but if you press this on once, it's green. If we press it twice, it's orange. It's a high sensitivity mode, which I don't use very often at all, but it's been the most reliable for me so far. I really, really like this. I don't like the ones that don't turn on. It's just like you kind of got to guess if it's on or not, or you got to test it before if it's on or not. I want to turn this thing on, put it there, know that it's on, and like be done. Now, if we go ahead and start just from this side over, diagonal cutters, this is the 8-inch set from Knipex. This is the angled set. It's got their new comfort grip handles, which I'm a huge fan of. You get to color code them, which is cool. They cut really well. They come like loose, which is just incredible. Big fan of that. Again, cutting, really great, okay? Handles are extremely ergonomic. This new comfort grip style, if you can get any of the Knipex stuff in this, get it, okay? Very, very ergonomic, very comfortable. It's actually got texture to it. So the blue's got a little bit of texture, and the gray up here has got a ton of texture. Absolutely love that. Obviously, you got to have diagonal cutters. That's a no-brainer. If we look at the front section here, we've got a little level. This is the ideal. This is what I was telling y'all about, okay? This one here is a little bit thicker than the other ones. Does it work as well? Yeah, just as well. Like, there's nothing fancy about this one other than the fact that I really like the blue. It's a little bit easier to see. The bubbles are really easy to see. You get visibility from every direction with the zero, from the top, bottom, side, everywhere. There's not a place you can't see the zero. So I don't know what it is about this one. I think it's just the way it's machined, and that it's a little bit of a different look, but I really, really like this one here from Ideal. And it just fits in this front little pouch nicely. Then if we go ahead and go to this side, we've got two drivers. Got a Phillips and a flathead. These things just fit better, okay? I like the way they feel in my hand. I like the way they fit screws. They last for a decent amount of time. They're very inexpensive. I like the way they look. These are a little bit dulled down. Even as much as I've cleaned them, they've just got too much dirt on them. And so, like, everything about this, these are my beater drivers. These aren't insulated drivers. So if you're like, I hate the red, then get the green and black ones, or literally whatever, okay? Carry what you want, do what you want. Check out these Wera drivers, though, if you're looking for the best bang for your buck value ever. Not just bang for your buck, but performance. The highest performance I've found on any other driver ever. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at our next Knipex version, they do now have the new updated comfort grip version of these. These strippers just are better. They do not go down to 10 stranded, which kind of sucks. They go to 10 solid, 12 stranded. I wish they went up. That's my only complaint about these. Other than that, these are the best cutting strippers on the market, okay? You're not going to find another pair of strippers that cut this well. You just won't. The shears on these, phenomenal. They strip very, very cleanly, very, very well. It's a set of strippers. You guys know. But the other, like even the locking mechanism on these is better, okay? I can get it from both directions, whatever side these are from. I never have this thing flipping out on me on accident, getting caught on anything. You just squeeze, rotate, squeeze, rotate, okay? So right here, I have to like really push to get it to open. If I squeeze, it's gentle, okay? Love these things, especially, I cannot wait to get them in the new comfort grip. This is a big enough upgrade for me, and I use these strippers enough that it's going to make sense for me to, I'm going to do it. Is it necessary? No. Do we have a YouTube channel about tools? Yeah, so I'm probably going to get it. At the end of the day, like, just want to bring you guys the best tools possible in the best way possible. And one of the best tools, Knipex Cobras. Man, this is really where I cut my teeth at as far as Knipex. This is what I found and was like, maybe Knipex is decent. These are the best, I tell you, the best adjustable pliers on the market. Water pump pliers, channies, whatever you want to call them, this is the GOAT, okay? This head is directional, so if you're turning on some conduit, let it snap into place there, and you're turning, it turns this direction, okay? It does not turn backwards nearly as well, which allows for a lot more aggressive bite on whatever you're grabbing onto, whether that's nuts, bolts, or round objects like a conduit. They're much thinner, okay? Much lighter. They have a much better grip too. This is gonna disperse or dispense your force a lot less than it would if it were double as wide. And the same thing, the push button here, man, so much faster, so much easier. Set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about these adjusting on you while you're in the air, holding these up, trying to get to some funky pipe, and they just accidentally move and you got to start the whole thing over again. Okay, once I moved to this style of plier, there was no going back whatsoever. Pretty much every tool on this list I will bet my last paycheck on that you'll like. The reason for that is I use them. And I don't use any of this stuff out of ignorance. Like, I have all the other brands, and it's not just like brand loyalty of like, I love Knipex stuff, but I love Knipex stuff because of the way it functions. I love Wera stuff because of the way it functions. Nothing to do with like, I just like the way it looks, or this one tool's good. So like every one of these is the best of the best that I could possibly find. This is my everyday loadout in a little bit of a different setup because I finally got an open top bag and wanted to try it. So I'm absolutely a massive fan of this style of open top. And this is the RB, which is going to have the rubberized bottom, which basically is just not going to mar up surfaces. So I'm a huge fan of that. I can actually take this to like a high-end home, high-end facility. Some of the offices that we service that are like bougie beyond bougie. Okay, take this there, and I don't have to worry about setting it on the cart every time. I can kind of move this around, set it where I need to, and not have to worry about scratching up tens and thousands of dollars worth of surfaces. Now, if you guys want to see me give $1,000 worth of tools away to an apprentice, you guys can head up here. Remember, it's all for his glory, and I'll see you guys on the next one.